Hi guys, I'm Aurena from Germany. I'm half Sri Lankan, and yes, I will break some more taboos. And the last time I spoke about masturbation, sex having before getting married. Today I'm going to talk about incest. Yes, I'm talking about incest. What's the meaning of incest? It's when the father sleeps with the daughter, the mother sleeps with the son, when the brother sleeps with the sister. It's like the very close related bloodline, okay? So, yes, there used to be a time which it was allowed, and it did happen, and it still happens. And yes, we do have a time which it's not legal, it's not allowed, and there's a reason for it, right? But people are not talking about it. It's hidden in the society, which is not okay. So, what happens if the father sleeps with the daughter, or the brother sleeps with the sister, or the mother sleeps with the son, and a child is born? The problem is, the closer the bloodline is, the weaker the blood gets. That means the child which is born might have very high chances that the child gets disabilities, maybe not able to hear, to see properly. The bones, the body structure is is not functioning, is crooked, is like not the way it's supposed to be. It's not healthy, it's sick, it's weak. Okay, there are certain sicknesses which you can even Google. I didn't write those down now. So yeah, how does it happen? Why does it happen? Now, I did some research with some people which actually are working with those cases on a daily basis, and they even told me that it's going to be reported to the police and even to the government, but they won't talk about it. I will talk about it. And you know why? Because let's take one case, that's one scenario. The mother goes abroad. I want to even talk about Asian countries, not only Asian countries, all over the world it does happen, but especially in Asian countries and especially in Sri Lanka. I have done some studies I want to talk about, right? Because all the politicians are worried about being in power, but you know what? Most important is to bring the focus back to a family, because the family is the seed, is the base, is the foundation of a country. If we don't understand that, there's no point actually ruling a country. And we want to make sure that when we rule a country, that we have people who are able to have a balanced, flourishing, blossoming country, right? So what happens if the family does not function? We're creating a sick system. It's like a cancerous system. It all fails. It's the opposite of explosion, implosion. It's imploding. So now, how does it happen? Now, for example, in Asian countries like, let's say Sri Lanka, I'm giving an example. The woman, the wife, goes abroad, works as a maid for the Middle Eastern family, right? So now the father is at home with the children. Now one of the children is a daughter. So now, because of poverty, lack of knowledge, desperation, missing the wife, what does the father do? He sees the daughter growing up, becoming a woman, and of course that woman will be attractive. Now, the father, what happens is, starts drinking. Most of the times they drink, and then they come home and they rape the daughter. It's called with it's seriously, please, okay, listen again. The father's drinking, the mother is abroad. The daughter is sleeping. While the daughter is sleeping, the father is raping the daughter Very rare there's a consent. Consent means the daughter is approving and also willing to sleep with the father. That means the daughter is not safe in her own home and bed. Also what happens is, the brother, because lack of space, room, bed, whatever, the brother and the sister sleeping in one bed. Now obviously they're sharing intimacy. Like when they're small it's okay, but then when they're growing up and crossing puberty, so there's a sexual attraction, right? So because the body is changing, all those hormones starting to go upside down, there's a reason why ancient cultures did have the tradition, even till now, that with a certain age the boy has to leave the village, do an initiation, and is coming back to the village. Even the girl gets an initiation, some washing ritual, changing the clothes, wearing different clothes, having her period, and then everyone knows, okay, she's a woman. That's for everyone to know, okay, there's a respect. They're being adults now, they're being able to receive children. So now, if their whole family is sleeping in one bed, what happens is the father sleeps with the daughter, the mother sleeps with the son, the brother sleeps with the sister. It happens with consent and without consent. And without consent, that means that's rape. Now, those children, they're not even able to go to the police station, because what happens is, most of the times the police looks at the girl and says, you know what, you're a loose girl, you're easy to get, and even the police people are raping the women. And that's not a joke, and I'm not creating this. I have it from very solid resources, okay? And I will get deeper into it after some time. I just want to talk about it. So now what happens is, it happens in rich families. And in rich families, most of the times it's with the consent of the children, and for them it's like almost normal. In the poor families, it's most of the times it's rape. And in very wealthy families, in Muslim tradition, in Arab families, they're even doing it, getting married to the cousin, because they want to keep their wealth and the land and the houses within the family. But what happens is, not looking at the child's health because of the weak blood, they're giving birth to a child which is disabled or sick. And that's because of the very close bloodline, which is not a good thing. That's why it is forbidden, because it's not good for humanity to create sick children, right? Now, even in religion, it's about staying clean in public. It's like they don't want to talk about it, but we should talk about it. It's very important that we talk about it. Now I want to do some research. I want to find out what else creates incest and where it happens the most. Now this is what I wanted to talk about for a bit. And if you have any questions, or even in any other topics you want to talk about or know, let me know. I will talk about it. So that's about incest. And please, in Sri Lanka, I know the problem is we don't have many institutions where people can go and ask for help. Please help each other. There are some human rights. You can go to those offices. You can go to UN people. They're helping. And yes, there are some amazing people out there. They will definitely help you. I will try to put some numbers below my video. And it's not okay if we have to sleep with a family member because there's not enough space, or we don't get the education we need and the knowledge, and it's a taboo to have sex without getting married. You know, it's always about sexuality is something secret. You have it with someone you love, and you share it with someone, not because the father or the mother is out of the country, or one of the other is drunk, or there is no space. No, we have to make sure that everyone has the right to have a good upbringing, because that means within the family, if that happens, they can't trust each other. It's like you can't even trust another human being. And what happens is, if you don't trust another human being, you will not let anyone come close to you emotionally, physically, and then you can't create love. If there's no love in a family and in a country, there is no country, there's no government. It just fails, okay? So we have to make sure that people are growing up in a healthy environment so that we have a healthy country. And even there's nothing more to say, okay? Just help each other, please. Bye.